right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakadash, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. All right, and what I want to get into, this morning, we're dealing with, the kingdom within, the kingdom within. All right, because when you go into the scriptures, this is the book of Luke, chapter 17, verse 20. It says, and when he was demanded of the Pharisees, when the kingdom of the Most High should come, he answered them and said, the kingdom of the Most High cometh not with observation, because scribes and Pharisees were carnal, and at that time, you seen Rome, Rome had all this infrastructure, throughout the known world, you know. So the scribes and Pharisees, the wicked, Pharisees and Sadducees, they was looking at a kingdom, based off infrastructure, so they're looking at, the preaching of Yahweh Shah, like he doing all this preaching. Okay, when is the kingdom going to come? They want to see physical buildings, be erected, because in their mind, the infrastructure, okay, was the vital part of the kingdom. Okay, but they was missing the concept. All right, Yahweh Shah is finna go into. You see? So you read on, it says, neither shall they say, lo here or lo there. For behold, the kingdom of the Most High is within you. The kingdom of the Most High is within you. Okay? It begins with the people. All right? Beginning with the heads, the leaders. You see? See, their mind, was, let's say, based on infrastructure. They was carnal. Okay? They didn't get the concept that, wait, before you get into any infrastructure of a kingdom, well, the kingdom consists of the leaders of that kingdom. Okay? So the kingdom is within the elect of Israel, beginning with those first fruits, because you go into the different empires, well, these empires consist of what? The men, okay, that's at the top. That's the beginning of the empire, the men that's in power. You see? Their mindset, their belief system, that's what dominates the kingdom. Their systems that they set up to run their kingdom. Okay? That's the kingdom. During the time of the Babylonians, the men of Babylon. Okay, it was their mind, it was their belief system. It was their culture that dominated the known world. All right? The Syrians, the Persians, the Greeks, the Romans. Well, there was a time when the men of those empires, the leaders of those empires, those different nationalities of men, okay, well, their belief system, their doctrine, their systems, their government policies, their government structure, those things, okay, were the kingdom. Then you get infrastructure. You see, the infrastructure is a representative of, all right, the men that's in power at the time. Okay, so Jake wanted to jump straight to seeing infrastructure. Yahweh Shah, like, no, the kingdom is within you. And this is going to be a righteous kingdom. So the Lord is grooming us to be righteous judges, to be righteous leaders. So the kingdom is within us. Okay? That's the beginning. The scriptures speak about how when you go to Revelation 3, Revelation 3, and I want to say it's verse, verse 11. Yeah, this is Revelation 3 and 11 says, behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. And what we have is this faith, this belief. We believe in the victory that's coming through Yahweh Shah. So we come into a time and moments that's going to make us try to doubt their victory and try to make us doubt what we believe, our hope, and our expectation in Yahweh Shai. That's within us, man. So hold fast within us. The kingdom is within us, man. It starts with a belief. You know, the scripture speaks of that grain of mustard seed. All right, it grew into this great tree where the fowls of the air lodged into it. Well, the kingdom started off as a small idea, but it's growing into an actual empire, actual dynasty. Okay, and then it's going to see the last phase is the infrastructure, man. Okay, but the first phase begins with what the belief, and that's what we're holding fast to, man. Okay, that Yahweh Shai is coming to establish a righteous kingdom. No matter what it looked like in Esau's kingdom, our power is coming to establish a righteous kingdom, man. Okay, verse verse 12 is the point. It said, "He that overcometh will I make a pillar." You see that, and the pillar is what holds something up. So it's going to be the government, their righteous government. All right, which Yahweh Shai would say the government shall be upon his shoulders. You see, which what his righteousness, his system, his mindset, okay, his authority, that's what's gonna uphold the kingdom. You see? The government, the responsibility of the government is gonna be on the shoulder of Yahushua to maintain righteousness in the earth forever. And we're gonna assist in their Lord will. You see? So the kingdom is already within us, man. It's just a thing of of having the faith, to wait out the process, man. Okay, eventually we're going to get to the infrastructure. We can go into the precepts, the golden streets, the windows of Agate. Okay, but before we get to that point, we have to overcome this flesh in this world. We have to overcome this beast system, not bend the knee. Okay, so reading on, it says, "He that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my power, and he shall go no more out, and I will write upon him the name of my power," the authority, okay, "and the name of Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my power," all right, the Most High, "and I will write upon him my new name," which the name of Yahweh Shai is going to be refreshed in the earth, because we have the new name. But we're going to rule in authority of Yahweh, all right? Why Yahweh Shai? Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? That's the authority that we're going to rule in, man. Because name goes back into authority or rank. You see? So our rank is going to come based off the rank of Yahweh Shai, which he's going to be what? The King of Kings and Lord of Lords, man. Okay? And say we're going to be a pillar. You see? So the kingdom is held up. A kingdom is held up by its government. That's why scriptures say when there's moral rot within the kingdom, its government topples easy. Okay? When the leaders are off, the government topples easy. You see? So the Lord is making us those strong, righteous pillars for the kingdom to come. It's already within us, man. You see? It's already within us. The kingdom is working within us, man. The Lord is conjuring up a kingdom in the earth from within his men. Okay? Beginning with Yahweh Shai. Okay? When Yahweh Shai comes, that's when the world is going to see the visual manifestation, the visuals. Okay? That's when they're going to see, begin to see infrastructure and righteous systems set up in the earth. But it begins with us getting ourselves in order first, man. Okay? Then it's going to get to the point to where, it's time for us to be changed and perfected to aid Yahweh Shai and getting the earth on point in righteousness, man. So the kingdom is already within us. It's working. Okay? Through the men of Israel, man, those pillars, beginning with the first fruits. Okay? Let's go here. Let's get that in 1 John. Let's get this in the book of 1 John. I think this Matter of fact, I think it's First John 4:4. All right, 1:4:4. All right, this is the book of First John chapter 4 and verse 4. It says, "Ye are of the Most High, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is He, all right, that is in you than he that is in the world." So we got something greater in us than what's in the world, man. Than this current age, man. We got Yahweh Shai in us, man. That's greater than this world. That's greater than this age, man. You know, with the power of Yahweh Shai, you know, what he's putting together, okay? How the Lord is putting together a mighty work in the earth, man. It's greater than what's in this world, man. You see, we have something far greater, okay? Far greater inside us, man, than anything that's working in this world, man. We got a kingdom that far exceeds anything of this age of this world, man. We got another glory inside of us, man, that goes way beyond this world, man. This world is low level. You know, as we grow in Yahweh Shai, we really see this world is low level, man. It's backwards, it's death, it's confusion, it's dysfunction, it's manipulation, it's enchantments. You know, it's low level. Okay, the earth is operating on the lowest level that it's ever operated, man. Under this devil Esau Edom. We got something far greater in us that's working in us, man. That's going to manifest, okay, throughout the world, man. You see? That mountain, you know, that stone, that smoke, the feet of the statue, what did it become? A great mountain. You see? Real quick, let's get there, man. You know, let's get that prophecy. That's the book of Daniel, chapter chapter 2. I think Daniel 2 and 33 says his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. So this Daniel 2 and 33. And this is the bottom of the statue. The iron legs going into the pagan Roman Empire. His feet of iron and part of clay is a revival of the Roman empires, America, NATO, and the EU. Okay? Thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, and that's Yahweh Shai. Okay? Which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay and break them into pieces. And that's Yahweh Shai coming to destroy the kingdom of Esau. Okay? Which by default, these heathens, okay, which are vassals to Esau in this kingdom. Okay? And it says, then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together and became like chaff of the summer threshing for these nukes. Okay, the fire from the chariot. And the wind, all right, it says, and the wind carried them away, that no place, all right, these positions of authority, okay, that they have, all right, Esau and these heathens, that no place was found for them, all right. It says, and the stone that smote the image became a great mountain, which is a great government, and filled the whole earth, man. You know, we're going to fill the whole earth with righteous law, righteous system, righteous policies, righteous wisdom, okay, and splendid infrastructure, man. You know, but it begins within us, man. The Lord is because we're going to be the heartbeat of the kingdom with Yahweh Shai, man. Lord, will we endure? You see? You know? So it's gonna be the righteous authority that's gonna keep this kingdom going forever and ever, man, everlasting. So that's the point. Just wanted to tap into that, Lord, will you, brothers? All right, and you few sisters edified once again. Want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards your brothers. And peace and blessing, salutation, hopefully, shalom.